and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. Woo! Let's take some shit. Okay, I'm excited. I hope you are too. I don't know. It's Monday morning and I get to paint some shit. Basically a full respray on this C200 Benz. Let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a video on my main channel for this, so let's turn on the tripod too. That's one cool thing about having the two GoPros now. I can get two sets of footage at the same time, and I might even do this. That enables me to sync the video, so I can have like a little thing down in the bottom corner. So when you're doing your video editing, you can hear the clap or see the clap. Make sure those settings are right. So full fluid, and I might even run it at 20 psi for the Basecoat, because I thinned it down at their recommended viscosity. So not their recommended thinning ratio, because they recommend I think it's like 15%. That's right. They recommend 15% in with their metallics, but it's kind of contradictory to their recommended viscosity, which is like 22 to 26 seconds. It's definitely coming out a bit faster. It's covering nice, obviously, because I've got the dark primer down, so that obviously helps. But yeah, because it's that little bit thinner, I don't need that higher pressure to pull the paint out of the gun, you know what I mean? So I did a masking video on this one for you guys yesterday, and here we are doing the Basecoat, and I think I'll do a separate video for clear. Yeah, I'll definitely do a separate video for clear. Yeah, the reason I say it was contradictory is because their recommended thinning ratios, as I said, is like 15%, but then their recommended viscosity is, what was it, 22 to 26, but they're way out. Like, I measured it with 15%, I measured the viscosity, and it was at like 43 seconds. And they recommended 22 to 26, so it was way out. Way out. So I would estimate we're at about 30% reducer to get to their recommended viscosity. So I took double the amount of reducer than they recommend. But either way, we're here. I had a few people leave some advice for me on my Instagram page, and now actually, because last week or the week before, I started using viscosity cups for my clear, and some people are like, oh, use it for your Basecoat. So that's why I ended up using it for the Basecoat. It's actually the first job I used the viscosity cup for my Basecoat for. Hey, things are going down nicely though. I might not want to do this on some of the poor coverage colours, because I guess the extra reducer is only going to make it cover worse, you know what I mean? I've got the spray boost set to 25 degrees, so not too hot. It's a pretty nice morning out there, probably about 22 degrees, so not too hot, not too hot of a day, not too cold. It's taking a while to dry though. I might even cut the footage out of those bumpers just to stop the vid from getting too long. I know some people are going to say, mate, I'd watch the hours, but either way, I don't think everybody would. I don't know, there's some Gunman loyalists who would totally watch the hours. I actually did a respray video on a Lexus years ago on this channel here, and I think it's one of the most popular videos on this channel, and that video does go for an hour, so I guess there's definite proof that people will watch for a long time. Either way, I might go and turn that camera off. Just gonna fill up my SD card, otherwise. You said starting to dull down, dry down, and as it does, I had some sort of a funky reaction happening over here, eh? Don't know what that is. We'll sort it out, it's all good. Anyway, I'll flick the cam off and I'll see you here for the second coat. Rightio, so here we go for our second coat. I ended up just leaving it dry down for a good 5 minutes. I'm going to wind the fluid in half a turn. I'm going to drop that pressure just by a little bit, not the full 5 psi, because I don't think it's going to be necessary. Tripod on again, we'll do our little sink clap. So notice this coat here, I'm not going on as wet, holding the gun back a little bit. Just go over those edges a second time for what it's worth. I think I might have to use the my starter jet on this one, because we're actually out of TPS lids. So I haven't got a great deal of a choice, to be honest, because all my other guns, apart from the starter, use the TPS pot. It definitely does spray a lot different with that extra reducer in it. I'm not sure I'm going to do this all the time, because, I mean, I might, but I'm going to have to sort of reconsider the way I spray this stuff, to be honest, and totally go back to the drawing board. That happened. Popped out on me. Jesus Christ. Oh well, that gives me something to fix. You know what I'm going to do there? Have a look at that. So what I'm going to do here is like just wipe it. It's going to look like a mess, but that's lowering the profile. That's actually going to be a lot easier to sand out, and it's going to dry a lot faster than the other option. Made a bit of a mess, but it's not going to be too hard to fix, to be honest. Good thing it's the black, you get away with a little bit more of that kind of stuff. But the airline popped out on me. this when we're ready for the last coat. So I thought I should probably include the footage of me fixing this little bit of a mess down here. So as you can see, it's actually not that bad, considering it could have been. It's actually really not that bad. So we're just giving it a light scuff down now. I did give it a quick blow with the air dryer, the air blower there. I'm just giving it a scuff over the top. We'll give that a quick tack rag. Bit more base coat, and we're probably about done. As I say, like, so because it's a darker colour, the clear will fill some of those imperfections up a bit more so than if it was like a light metallic. Even little things like this, like there's a couple of sanding scratches, and I think that's partly because I've thinned that base coat down more than usual, so it's not filling up as much as it would have usually, and I can see some of them little orbital sander marks in the boot lid there, so I might actually go back to my standard thinning ratio for the next job. But that'll be fine. You barely even know that it was there. That base coat was still a touch sticky though. I don't know if you noticed my tack rag sort of nearly sinking into it. Nearly. Alright, looking good. So ready for our last coat. Turn the tripod on again, why not? So what pressure are you looking at? Probably 15 psi. Wind it in another half a turn. I'm not going to do the edges on this last coat. Look, realistically, I probably don't even need to do this drop coat. I definitely don't need to do it for the metallic, but I just want to put it on. I want to put the third coat on. Up 2 litres of colour for this job here. I went into the city on the weekend to do some Christmas shopping, and there was this big protest in there. So Daniel Andrews or whatever you call him, he's the premier, which is like the governor for my American viewers. That's our version of the governor. He's the premier of Victoria anyway, and anyway, there's a big protest against him and this new bill that he's proposed, whatever. It's looking like it's probably going to get through, but anyway, I'm not even going to say that I'm picking a side or anything. I'm not going to tell you my personal opinion. But you know the one thing that I took away from that? I was like, man, I don't like it when I get someone leaving a hate comment, you know what I mean? Like when one person or 2 people leave a hate-filled comment on my YouTube channel. Like, I don't like that, right? And I would imagine most people, like with Jim, we don't like it. But could you imagine, like, having 100,000 people running through the bloody street yelling F Dan Andrews or F the Gunman? Mate, I would leave the country never to come back. I'd be like, hey Elon Musk, can you put me on a rocket ship and fly me up to Mars, please? Because it didn't work out here on planet Earth, you know what I mean? Nobody likes me. I mean, and if anything, man, I lost respect for politicians after that. I'm like, what kind of a bloody psychopath would want that job, you know what I mean? Like, and is anything worth that? Like having so many people hate you. I don't care what perks you get out of that bloody job, man. But he's he's probably never going to be able to walk the streets of Melbourne alone again, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, like what kind of a bloody psychopath must you be to want that job, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man, it's insane. That was my takeaway from it anyway. Let me know what you think. But anyway, that's probably about it for a base coat video. I'll put the rest of the base coat over the bumpers, and then I'll give you guys a final look around the job before we clear it in the next video. So this is a quick look at it after the base coat's all dried down. I'm actually about to clear the job up now, but as I said, I was just going to give you guys a look over the job before I did clear it. I will be doing another video on the clear coat stage coming tomorrow, so be sure to subscribe and stick around and stay tuned for that one. I've actually got the DeVilbiss DV1 with some PPG LVC 136 in the gun. And anyway, if you want to support the show, be sure to go and check out the link in the description. Buy yourself a Gunman shirt, hoodie, spray suits, anything. Anyway, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.